Hi guys, welcome back to my XVS guide. Now I'm gonna review Kunshira. So I have said lots of bad thing about her on preview, but after looking on her kids carefully, I don't think she's that bad, okay? So let's start from her stats. Like you can see that her stats is pretty amazing, especially on the normal form, 220% attack and magic boost. Like you can see that it is better than Starlight Elena. Okay, yes, I know that she has lower base attack and magic, but the point here is she also gets 500 attack and magic. Okay, raw stats, pretty amazing. That means she gonna has really nice attack and magic stats, so that's a good thing. Too bad that her defense and spirit are not that special. For her brave shift form, I can say that yes, she loses her 500 magic and attack raw boost, but yes, she becomes more flexible because you can make her into true double hand too. But what's the purpose of that? I don't think you need it because she gets 200% change damage modifier when dual wielding, so dual wield is the way to build her. And talking about true dual wield, her normal true dual wield is kind of strange, 170%. My advice for you is yes, simply ignore that. But again, if you have, let's say, like Eldrin Trust Mastery Word, then it's good, okay? That means she has 195% after equipping Eldrin Trust Mastery Word. Not maximum, but only 5% to the max. So I can say you can neglect that 5%. Okay, and special thing about her is on both form, she has 125% beast, human, and insect killer, both physical and magic. But again, as a hybrid character, you only need to pay attention on physical because they don't get benefit from magic killer. Okay, and that's for the stats, nothing special like fatal damage protection. So let's take a look on her normal form. So on her normal form, she can chain with Mirror of Equity. The bad news is yes, she is forced to become dual elemental attacker, Water-like or Fire Wind Mirror of Equity. But the good news is I can say the damage is quite high, 98 times. Yes, I know she is a hybrid character, but like you have seen before that her stats are pretty decent. So I can say that 98 times for her can equal to like 80 times or even 90 times, okay? So pretty decent as long as the enemy don't absorb one of these elements. And the good thing about her is for the Aurel Ray chain, okay? She can deal 89 times hybrid damage, but I think she is one of the strongest Aurel Ray chainer on this game. Maybe on normal situation, Aurel Ray is not important, but remember, for Dark Vision, Aurel Ray is super useful because yes, okay, you can increase chain hit count and damage at the same time. So yes, good. Again, the same problem, dual elemental attacker, Wind and Lightning. Okay, but if you only use it for Dark Vision, you only need to equip her with different elemental weapon and only need for high chain count, okay? And she also able to become finisher. For finisher, she is not fixed to certain elements, so you can easily equip elemental weapon or let other characters to imbue her. And yes, it may be not the best finisher, but still, you have the option, right? And another thing I like about her for Dark Vision is she able to buff your party fire, water, wind, lightning, and light resist by 100%. So like you know that on some Dark Vision stage, the enemy gonna use an elemental attack. So this kind of buff gonna be useful to sustain 0 damage on Dark Vision. Okay, so this is very nice. She is useful for Dark Vision in that case. Okay, but again, to get this one as a purpose, okay, I mean, yeah, if you want to use her as a buffer, then you don't need to awaken her into Neo Vision. It is an ability from the 7 stars form, okay? And for Imperil, it is bad only 70%, so you can care less about this break and Imperil. Okay, and for Limit Burst, it is also trash. It also unlock your finishing skill, but you don't need to use this Limit Burst because you can unlock it through normal ability. So that's for normal form. Now let's talk about Brave Shift form. So on Brave Shift form, she's still able to chain with Mirror of Equity, but only water and light element. Fire and wind, you need to revert back to normal form. And yes, the good thing about this Brave Shift is she has non-elemental absolute Mirror of Equity chain. So yes, good for you if you want to use her, let's say with Summer Voltra against enemy who weak against magic. You can do that with this Brave Shift form. And this ability also useful for the arena because it can drain MP. Okay, nice. And on this Brave Shift form, she is also more powerful Aurel Ray Chainer because she deals 108 times damage on this form. So if you can chain triple cast it, you can triple cast it, and you can chain perfectly, then it can deal nice amount of damage. But triple cast Aurel Ray maybe not easy. And her finisher ability, Superior Mage Blade, also deal more damage, 110 times hybrid. But again, this can only be unlocked by using her normal form abilities. So you need to switch back between normal and Brave Shift form. And on this form, she also able to become 75% all stats breaker. Yes, so I can say she is pretty decent on this form, but maybe the best utility she has is 300% rod break damage and 500% mace break damage. At this point, those abilities are not useful, but maybe in the future there will be a trial where you need this mace and rod break. At that time, Kunshira gonna shines. And yes, she also useful for Dark Vision again because she can imperil 5 elements. Okay, using her cooldown ability. And yes, that imperil will also complement her grandest ability, Penta-Elemental Spellblade. This is ridiculous, guys. But as long as the enemy don't absorb the element, it can work. Okay, and her Limit Burst, it is better than her normal form abilities. At least on this form, you can use it as a breaker, 85%, really top tier. Okay, and 125% lightning and wind resist break, lightning and wind imperil. So pretty decent, I must say, or Brave Shift form on Dark Vision. And enough about Brave Shift form. Now let's talk about equipment. For equipment, it is really easy. Okay, you don't need to worry about limit burst damage. You basically need to make her into true dual wield. So you need to build her attack and magic and true dual wield attack and magic. One Raven Heart is enough to max her true dual wield, and because she has nice stats, I can say it is pretty easy to max her attack and magic to the max. And remember, hybrid character only get benefit from physical killers. Okay, and talking about Dark Vision, she is decent. But what about trials? I can say that for trials, she is good as long as the enemy doesn't absorb the element that she uses. So against trial like maybe Shinryu, who absorbs certain elements, is not that good. But again, why do you want to use Kunshira on Shinryu? Because she doesn't have Dragon Killer. So she has Beast, Human, and Fairy Killer. So for Beast, she can work against Behemoth and Master Curl because at 125%, and those enemies don't have resistance to her elemental attack. Okay, I don't say using Kunshira gonna make your fight against Behemoth easier, but yes, if you want to do experiment, you can do that because 125% Beast Killer. Okay, amazing. And for another type, Human Killer, you can use her on Scorn or Beast Dark too. Shiva is human, and she doesn't absorb Kunshira double elemental attack, so you can use it without worrying because Kunshira able to imperil those elements. And Golem also doesn't absorb her absolute mirror of equity, fire and wind, and Aurel Ray chain. So yes, she doesn't have killer against Golem, but she can works really well on that battle. So those are all about equipment and trial. My conclusion for Kunshira. So good thing about Kunshira is she has 3 killers and lots of elements. But lots of elements also her weakness because you are forced to do dual elemental attack. But again, that is not important as long as the enemy don't have resist or absorb the elements. Okay, so I have given you example on trials where you can use her, okay? And she also has decent stats, and I can say her damage modifier for hybrid characters are pretty nice. I can say that her damage modifier is about the same like Starlight Elena, okay? Because Starlight Elena, the bolting strike chain deals about 100 times damage, okay, and that require like setup for 1 turn using Gemini Blade 2 times. But for Kunshira, she deals 98 times damage flat right from the start. Okay, I don't say she is more powerful than Starlight Elena, okay, because I only talk based on damage modifier, but I can say yes, it's quite powerful as long as the enemy don't absorb or have resist. So another thing is, yes, she is good support for Dark Vision. 100% elemental resist buff, gonna help you to maintain that 0 damage mission. And Aurel Ray gonna help you maintain high chain count, okay? And Imperil, nice for Dark Vision where you only need burst attack. But for trials, maybe not that good because her Imperils last like 4 turns and you need to wait for like 8 turns to use it again. So you need to have someone who is able to imperil more constantly on normal situation. And her Trust Master Reward and STMR are not that special. Okay, attack magic plus 40%, and for the STMR it is decent, 50 attack and magic, but the elemental resist boost is kinda small, 15%. I prefer to get Aldor, not Aldor, okay, I've Awakened Rain STMR, okay, it's much better, I think. Okay, so I think that's all you need to know about Kunshira. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy Paravex Guide. Bye bye guys.